Hey, what's up everyone? My name is Galbraith, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking all about the steps it takes to get a finance internship. So I've done a lot of other videos on my channel about how I got my own finance internship and the steps that I had to go through in order to land it. But I realized I never really did a good job of giving you, the viewer, good advice on what you should do. I've had a lot of calls and DMs with students who also are looking to get internships similar to mine. So because of those experiences, I felt that I might as well make this video here today, sharing what I think is the best route to eventually get a finance internship. Today's video is going to be video one of what will be a pretty long series here on my channel. So if you yourself are hoping to get a finance internship and you want to learn more about the process of doing so, definitely subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my uploads. So last year, I successfully navigated the waters of getting an internship. It definitely can be a daunting process and at times can just feel overwhelming. If you're feeling this way, don't worry, you are not alone. This is pretty common, but at the end of the day, just remember, if you're getting rejected by internships, don't feel discouraged. At the end of the day, it's important to remember all you need is one yes. Internships in finance are usually among the most lucrative of all internships. Depending on the internship in finance, they can be some of the best paying internships and can sometimes allow you to make more money in a summer than some people make all year. So because of the pay and the prestige that comes along with an internship or a job in finance, there is an overwhelmingly high amount of people and students applying for these roles. In today's video, I'm going to be talking all about the steps that you should take prior to applying for your internship. So yes, I know this video might not apply for everyone just because they might already be in that process where, okay, there's an application due tomorrow. But regardless of if you're in that situation or not, I think this video will definitely be helpful for you, whether you're looking for an internship or maybe a full-time offer down the road. There certainly are certain things that you should do prior to applying for the internship that will allow you to stand out or at least put you on a level playing field with the other candidates at the time of your application. So I'm about to dive into the steps you should take prior to applying for that finance internship. But before I get into that, I need to mention the importance that your laptop plays in applying for these internships. In the last few months, I myself have been using my own Dell XPS 15 laptop with a touchscreen, and it has been great. Because the laptop has a 15-inch screen, it makes researching and applying for the internships super easy. The laptop also has a Core i7 processor, so it is able to manage when I have 30 tabs of all different internship applications pulled up. Also, the camera on the laptop is stellar. This definitely comes in handy when you move on to the higher view interviews or you're on a Zoom call with potential employers. You definitely don't want to have a blurry webcam or bad audio. So it's really important to take into consideration the webcam on your laptop during the whole internship application process. Your laptop is going to be your greatest tool in applying for these internships, so it's really important to invest in something that can get the job done not only well, but exceptionally. If you yourself are interested in purchasing your own laptop, the link to Dell's website will be down below in the description. With that covered, let's get into the first step you need to take before applying to these internships. So some of these things will be pretty obvious, so I'll try to move through them decently quickly just for the sake of time, but everything I will mention is extremely important. Like I said before, finance internships are extremely hard to get, so it's really important that you have everything right and everything going for you to give yourself the best chance at getting the internship. So the first thing to have in check before applying to these internships is a good GPA. Certain internship applications will actually give you a hard cutoff for the minimum GPA to apply. This really can vary based on the company or the role. I've seen anywhere from 3.0 to 3.7. But with all this being said, it's really important to just have as high of a GPA as possible. I understand this isn't necessarily something you can control or change in the short term, but this is definitely something to take into consideration now so you can continue to build it up. I'm pretty fortunate to have a strong GPA, and although that isn't the end-all be-all for applying for internships, it's definitely reassuring to know my GPA isn't holding me back and allows me to be on an equal playing field with everyone else. And although a 4.0 GPA won't give you the internship, having below a 3.0 certainly will cancel out your chances of having an internship. If you have below 3.0 and you don't really have a good excuse for it, most likely your resume will be tossed out and you're not going to get the internship. So that's the first thing. I know it's super blunt, but it's really important to have a good GPA. Also, it's important to mention that if you're at this point in your process, you can't really change your school. Schools play a major role in your chances of getting a certain internship. I mentioned this in my one video where I talked about what I learned from applying to 100 internships. School definitely can help if you go to a target school, but if you're watching this video, you probably can't change where you go to school right now. So for those reasons, I didn't feel the need to include that in this video. I wanted to only talk about things that you can control now. So the second thing that will give you an advantage when applying for internships is your extracurriculars in school. So a lot of universities now have a student investment fund on campus. If you're unfamiliar with what these are, they're usually clubs or organizations on campus that are completely run by students, and they usually manage a pretty substantial sum of money. The money 9 times out of 10 is part of the school's funds. It's either part of their pension plan or something, but it usually is a pretty substantial amount. At the school that I go to, the University of Florida, we have both the Founders Fund and Gator Student Investment Fund. Both these organizations manage a good amount of money, which provides students an awesome experience in a real-world setting of managing money. If you're interested in investment banking or asset management, this is a perfect extracurricular for you to get involved in that will give you tangible work experience in the finance field. It's one thing to be investing your own money, which at our age isn't usually a ton of money, but it's a whole different level when you're managing the school's money, which can usually range from tens of thousands to millions of dollars in these investment funds. It definitely ups the stakes, and because of that, it's usually pretty hard to get into these organizations. But if you can do it, it's definitely an awesome opportunity and will 100% give you an advantage when applying for these finance internships. Other than these investment funds, any organization on campus that is correlated with finance or the business school is definitely an important organization to join. Companies want to see that you're involved on campus. If you're involved on campus, it means that you can most likely be involved with their company. Not only does joining these clubs make you look good on your resume, but it will also give you a whole new world of people and connections that could potentially help you get the internship. You'll have students who are older than you who have gone through the process of applying, and then who knows, they might also have jobs and could actually give you referrals for those internships. So it's really important to join business organizations on campus. I myself am in a couple of them, and they certainly have benefited my ability to network and to feel comfortable going into these internships. So the last tip was to join extracurriculars in school, and this tip will be to be involved in extracurriculars outside of school. So from what I've seen in my own experience, people who are able to land the really big time internships usually have a lot going on outside of school. Maybe they started a charity or they created their own successful business. There's usually something that they have going on that sets them apart from everyone else. Even if you didn't start your own business, it's really important to seek out other hobbies and opportunities in your life that might give you some tangible experience that can be applied to a finance internship. This really will just allow you to have a little bit of diversity of thought. And this is something that banks and investment funds and any other finance company really looks in their candidates. The experience doesn't have to be directly correlated with finance or the stock market. It can even just be something that gives you a really good understanding of a niche subject matter. For example, if you fly drones and you have a company that does drone photography, this might give you a lot of insight into the drone technology, maybe some of the developments that could be going on in that industry. And to you, this might not seem like anything crazy, but if you're talking to a recruiter or an analyst, this definitely shows that you are well informed and know a lot about an industry. This to them shows that this skill can be translated into a lot of different areas and will make you even more attractive as a candidate. So even for me, sometimes in the interviews, I actually talk about my YouTube channel. I might mention how it has allowed me to network with a lot of other students. It's given me a lot of experience of explaining myself and has aided in my presentation skills and my public speaking. Sometimes these soft skills can be just as important in your success on a job as your technical skills. And this is really what this point is all about. It's important that you have extracurriculars and hobbies that can be translated into an internship or a job, both in school and out of school. Another point that's kind of similar to the student organizations on campus, there are a lot of organizations in the business world that might help you get internships and be prepared for the application process. I have a friend who was in SEO, which stands for Sponsors for Educational Opportunity, and this organization played a huge role in helping him prepare for his internship with Morgan Stanley. SEO really helps students network and meet with a lot of influential people at some of the biggest banks, and although he certainly wouldn't credit SEO for giving him the internship, it definitely helped him prepare for it and maybe even put his foot in the door when networking with recruiters or current analysts at the bank. So definitely do some research, see if you qualify for any of these organizations, and if so, definitely apply for them. Again, the application process might be pretty tough, but in the end, it will 100% be worth it. So finally, once you've done all this, you should have a pretty solid resume. Depending on what year you are in school, maybe you have some prior internships, maybe not. But if you have all the things that I just mentioned, you certainly will be in a good spot for applying for these internships. The last few things that I want to talk about are just some things to do right before you apply. I think it's really important that you do extensive research on the companies that you want to work for or companies you've heard of and are thinking of applying for. Doing this research will kind of allow you to see maybe where these companies recruit or what they are looking for in their candidates. When you do this, you can kind of shift your resume around to fit exactly what it is that they're looking for. Also, it might just open your eyes to certain roles in the bank that you honestly never heard of, but might interest you more than what you previously thought you wanted to do. Obviously, there's the careers websites for each of these companies that should give you decent understanding of each of these things, but also websites like Glassdoor give you a pretty good representation of the internship application as well as the actual job and the culture of the companies. In addition to Glassdoor and some of those other websites, there's always YouTube to check. You'd be surprised just how many videos there are out on YouTube with people who might work for these companies talking about their experiences and what they did to get there. Obviously, there's nothing better than firsthand experience, so definitely check out YouTube first before applying to the internships. And with that being said, those were all the tips I have for what you should do prior to applying for the internship. I know a lot of this video is probably just me rambling or were things that are obvious, but I feel it is certainly important to address each of these things. Although they might be obvious to some of you guys, I know that there can be people out there who might not be aware of all of this and might not have had the resources or the friends and the connections to learn all of this so far. If you can follow each of these steps, you shouldn't really feel too intimidated or overwhelmed by the application process anymore. You should feel that you are a well-qualified candidate where any internship program would be happy to have you. Like I said before, subscribe below to my channel. I'll have the other parts to this series coming out shortly. As always, if you guys have any questions, you can reach out to me on Instagram right here at Galbraith. Also connect with me on LinkedIn. The link to that will be in the description. I hope you enjoyed the video and I hope you learned a thing or two along the way as well. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.